car out, my 68 Falcon. I miss driving this thing. I love driving it. But one thing about this car, here, I'll just show you. There's a very basic instrumentation in this car. So, speedometer, gas gauge, it sort of half works, and that's it. I think there's some lights over here. There's an engine light. Not sure. I guess that happens. I guess that lights up when it's too late probably, and you've blown your engine. I don't know, but that's it. So I don't really have much else going on here. So I want to put in some more gauges and instrumentation because I don't know what's happening with the car. Normally it's fine. Like, I really haven't had an issue. I suppose if it's overheating, you'll see steam. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to put in more gauges. I've got a gauge cluster I'm going to put in. Don't know if I'm going to get to that today. But one of the first things I do want to do is put in a tachometer. I don't have one in the car. I think it's okay. Hard to say. But, the speedometer reads up to, at 70 miles an hour, there's an orange line that goes on to 120. I'm assuming what they meant was, don't go, you're in the red zone if you're past 70 miles. I don't know. It's a 6-cylinder, 3-speed transmission. So in 68, that was probably fast enough on any of the roads they had. Regardless, I'm going to put a tachometer. So here's what I got. It's very basic, just your tachometer, but I wanted something small, and I looked around and I found this one, which is a 2-inch tachometer. Most of the ones that I've seen were 3.5-inch, which is a great big thing. This is not a very big car, so I'm going to, I much prefer a smaller one. I want to mount that sort of there. That still allows me to see everything, and from my point of view, I can still see the fuel gauge and everything else, and it won't be in the way, but it'll let me know the RPMs, the RPMs. So that's what I'm going to do. I was looking at how to mount this thing, and there's like a hole there. I guess you could screw it into something. And they do suggest in the instructions to use a clamp if you're going to put it on the steering wheel. And now I've got to miss this thing. This part moves because it's the gear shift. It moves the whole column, so the strap's got to go here. However, on the other side, I've got the turn signal. So if I can make the strap kind of go past this opening, I think we'll be good. So that's what I'm going to try. So there's a rubber pad it came with too, so that'll be helpful. The wires are going to go on this side and into the dash. Shouldn't be too hard. And I can turn this so I can straighten it up. Right about there. It'd be good. Okay, so I got that started. And put that in there. So, with my third hand, using an ancient screwdriver that's probably as old as me, and also not interfering with the shifter. That's good and solid. And I did briefly think about actually putting a screw through that middle thing and screwing it directly in, but I didn't really want to screw into this. I'm not 100% sure what it's made of, and it's 58 years old, and I just didn't want to go there. So this is good and solid. I'll have to get rid of this excess strap. But yep, no, I'm pretty happy with that. And I just straightened it up and tighten up the back nut. And yeah, that's good. So in theory, the connection part's actually pretty simple on a tachometer. I've got 4 wires. Black is ground, red is power, white is for the light that's in the tachometer. You can hook that up to the dashboard lighting circuit if you want the dimmer and stuff on it. I'm going to take the easy route out, and I'm just going to wire the white and the red together. So when I turn on the car, this has to be keyed power, not constant power. But when I turn on the car, the light will come on the tach. That's fine. And then the fun part's going to be getting the green wire through the firewall and onto the coil. But first of all, we're going to try to hook up this stuff. Okay, I've successfully got the wiring under the dash. It actually wasn't that hard because I already had some wires there that I put in for the radio and a couple other things. So it wasn't that difficult to tap into. Good thing about these cars, everything is right there. I don't have to dig through miles of plastic here. It's a steel dashboard and everything is exposed. So the next big challenge is going to be getting the green wire through the firewall to the coil. So let's have a look at that. So it's not a big car, and I have to get to the negative side of the coil here, and looks like if I come through sort of close to where the gas pedal linkage is, which is right up there somewhere, I'm going to have to make a hole because there is no provision for getting a separate wire through. But if I can get a decent enough hole through there, and I can bring the wire up, and it won't be too bad. So let me look into doing that. So I found a place where I can put a hole. I tried to go through this soft rubber thing with the gas pedal, but I figured that would move a lot, and it was quite honestly frustrating, but this will work just well. So now that I got the wire through the firewall here, I'm going to route it up through whatever I got to keep it out of the way of stuff. Like that. And it's going to come down, and it's going to go to the negative side of the coil, which is over here. You'll note I have a wire on the positive side as well, which goes to my ignition. That's because this is actually a Petronics electronic. I don't have points. I have the car came with that. I would have been fine with points, but that's not what it's got. Anyway, this has got to go over there. So we just need to put an end on that. I could shorten this wire, probably a little bit, and I think I will. About there, how to do it. And it came with the little ring terminal thing, so I'm going to do that. These don't need to be shielded or anything because they're it's a ground anyway. Obviously ground on the ignition. Okay, now I need I know I've got the right nut drivers here somewhere, but I don't know where they are, so let me go get a proper socket for that. Alright. Want to be careful you don't lose these things. Probably goes without saying that your ignition should be off, and I probably should have even maybe disconnected the battery, but I didn't do that. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see how this works. Ah, it does work. It does work. Just FYI, there is a switch on the back of these things for 4, 6, or 8 cylinders, so interesting. You can move your red line, of course. I'll never get it to 5,000. This whole car will blow up, but nope, happy with that. So just a short one today. This really isn't that bad of a job. It's a little bit of wiring, but you know, that's not that difficult. In these cars, like I said, it's easy to get to anything because there's lots of open space underneath. And assuming you have a coil, you just run it to the negative side of the coil, and away you go. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.